a negative consequence. And when they get it right, a positive consequence. In this procedure, now when I put the girth on, that's when I first started to come to the UK, people asked me what percentage of horses buck with the first saddle. And I honestly said about 80 to 90% buck with their first saddle. And they would ask me, thank you. They would ask me, what percentage buck with the first rider? And I said, about 90%. And I wasn't kidding them, that's where it's at. But as I have become better at my join-ups, it has become easier for me to get horses to go through this without bucking. So that now the first saddle is bucked with, maybe 15 or 20% of the time. And the first rider is bucked with about the same amount, 15 to 20%. Why would that change? Are horses changing? Yeah, they're changing all right. But after 50 million years, the changes are not palpable on the given year or even the given decade. That isn't what's happening. What's happening is that I'm doing better join-ups and I'm getting better trust levels. And so the saddle or the rider doesn't become the challenge that it used to be. But here's a beautiful starting where now when the human's up there, it isn't the first time that these elements have been in place up on the horse's back. And you know, the traditional horseman, the tough guy, would say, oh, that namby-pamby stuff. I don't have time for all that stuff. Really? I'll get this right, Joe. I don't have time for all that stuff. Okay. Now, what would you say? Is she going to buck with her first saddle? Mm-hmm. Seems to me like she will.
Do you want the audience to vote?
What did she say?
Want the audience to vote?
Yeah, you can vote.
Okay, who thinks she'll buck with her first saddle? And who doesn't? She's a bucker. Look at that hind foot. That's a ready to run hind foot as well. Oh, nose down.
Just gonna look.
Now remember that I've worked for trust. You're seeing a different horse right now. When she came in here, you couldn't rub her like that, but what she would bash you with her head. But I schooled about twice with the dually halter when she did it. And look at the difference now. She wants to come with me.
There you go.
Holy moly!
Look at Steve.
That was a near cinch, wasn't it?
She's looking at her own up what to get her to say, look.
Oh my goodness. We can't put a rider on her. Now watch me put her mind back to the join up. Let's just see. Let her clear the bowel. Why do they clear their bowel so much, these kinds? Nature says you only have to beat one other horse out of the meadow when the lion comes. And that's about 8 pounds right there. And once the horse is 8 pounds lighter, the racing secretary will tell you that it's about 3 or 4 lengths in a mile. And if that's the case, then she's beaten a lot of horses out of the meadow that didn't empty the bowel. So, how did Mother Nature work that one out? Well, Mother Nature didn't work it out. It happened to be worked out. We can get that. It happened to be worked out by virtue of the fact that adrenaline softens the stool. So when adrenaline is up, the stool is softer. Therefore, they clear the bowel more often. Pretty simple process. A horse is fighting the starting stalls at the races. You'll find that it's more than 50% a filly. Fillies, females, will tend to protect the rear half of their body a lot more strongly than the colt will. So the things that would cause the filly to kick or fuss about these tickly things is far in excess of what the average colt would do. Yeah. Hello. You. You, sweetheart. Yeah. Come on. Atta girl. Okay. Joe, we're going to go on with the Ardell. And with this one, we'll move Joe with the Ardell, legs and all, and straight up at the same time. If she's going to buck, let her buck. It's okay. It's hard to buck the Ardell off, I'll tell you that. I don't. And I don't want to tie Joe on. Not right.
She did legs, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. You see, if I want her to go to the left, I'll bring the line along this side. Remember, into pressure. Horses are into pressure animals.
And she's stubborn.
She gets cross easy, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Typical mare, isn't she?
So she's learning, oh, look what happened to the hind legs here.
Rotated.
Oh my goodness. That's terrible. Not. This is part of the gentling process. Now she's feeling the line on the inside of her off hind leg, and she might as well feel that once. And if you get really lucky, you could straighten it out like that. Nobody could count the number of horses that I have long lined. So that's become kind of a game for me. And it's a little bit like you folks that sit down to the keyboard
Get the temper.
on the computer. It would take me a month to do what you do in 30 seconds. I've never turned a computer on or off.
She's so stubborn. Show's over. She's like, goodbye.
I think she swore at you then.
Okay, let's put, Jim, you want to come in, please? I'm going to leave the lines on her.
Right.
And the two of you can get that on. Check your saddle security first, please. And you might ask yourself, what happened to the bucking? Well, it never got her anything. There was no gain from the bucking. So, she decided, what's the sense in that? It just takes a lot of my energy away. But what are they doing now? What are they putting up on my back? In front of the stirrup, Jim, on this side, if you could just, it's got to go in front. Yeah, inside the line. You got it. Okay, Jim. Don't be too long. So now we've got legs on her. Joe, you want to put the body up, please? Put the body right up. And you've got a ring there, so Joe's got it. Okay.
Oh, hee hee.
Oh, there's the bucking. Oh, goodness gracious. Holy moly.
Oh.
So now watch. Now think about the first rider being a human being. And oftentimes, here in the UK, the first rider on a breed of horses like this might be someone that rides well, but has ridden a horse that is being ridden for the first time, maybe just once or less than 10 times. That's not a good idea.
There you go.
Now you see that I have the dually halter working for me, not a bit to injure the mouth. Soft rope over the nose. Good. Very good. So all of that could have somebody in the hospital has been done now. We hope all of it. Might not be. because the feeling of a live rider is different from a mannequin no matter what you do. But in fact, there's people now testing putting a vibrating machine inside of the mannequin to sort of hum like a bit and vibrate, you know, and it's more like having a live rider. And it's amazing how a horse will keep bucking if you watch for the horse to take 2 or 3 of those jumps that you just witnessed, and then they push a button and the whole thing flies off. And they go, whoa, I can do that again. And pretty soon you have a professional bucking horse. And the professional bucking horses are loved by those people who ride them for a living. And they only have to work 8 seconds, about 15 or 20 times a year. And it is quite amazing the athletic ability of some of those horses. You suiting up, Joe? Are you suiting up? Where domestic horses are concerned, and horses that are like this horse going to go into someone's family, we like to have no more than a walk on the first day with the rider on. Just so that incrementally we begin to move with an absolute awareness in the horse's brain that nobody is here to hurt them. That is key. Okay, Jim and Joe both. Somebody could come with that if there was an extra. Or cover it. You see the sensitivity coming out. So I'll just wait for Holy Moly to accept the halter getting a little bit tighter and take a step back that way, and then I reward her. And she will learn to come behind my hands and give in a relaxed way, give to the dually halter. It's the release, says Benediction, the little deer. I made one to his size. It's the release that's educational, not the pull. You have to pull to get the release. All that can go in one lump. Yeah, not too bad. When a lows, go up. Something like that. Yeah. I'm okay. So Joe's putting her reins on. One thing about Holy Moly is that Joe doesn't have very far to go up. Or back down again. That was her comment. You've already seen that, so I'll just go for it. Yeah. in the same genre, in the same elements of psychology that I've been using for each of the principal concepts that I've exposed to you today, we go on now with something I think is very important, and that is to say that relaxing and walking away in my position here is one of the most important things you can do. Why is that, Mr. Roberts? Just walking away? Yes, relaxing and walking away. Why? No predator has ever gone into the prey animal, made contact, which we have done, and then just relaxed and walked away. The grizzly bear doesn't do it. The lion doesn't do it. The pack of dogs don't do it. What I'm going to do now is a three-way mounting for Joe. The first mounting is just so that Holy Moly feels the weight of a human being on the back. Standing still. And I relax and walk away. The second mounting is to do the same thing with Joe and then move Holy Moly's feet while Joe is up there. That's incrementally the next challenge that Holy Moly has to make. Relax and walk away. So in her mind, I want her to think, you know, actually this is no problem. I'm okay here. Nobody has hurt me. I think I can trust these people. I'll move the feet again. And this time, remember that the right leg has been on there in the form of a welly boot. So when the right leg comes over now, it's not the first time that she's felt that. Very straight. And there's the first human rider in about 27 minutes. I'm not going to take the line off, Joe. Typically I do, but she scattered so quickly in that bucking that she did. I do not want that to happen with Joe up there. So I'm going to allow her to stay with me on this line, moving her feet so that her owners have the best opportunity to keep things quiet in the first of the riding that's done. Very good. That's the first time in my whole career that I've done 2 starters for an audience in the incremental fashion of uplifting these concepts a little tougher and a little tougher as I go. Responsibility. We have been 6,000 years making mistakes with our tradition of horsemanship. Had a mare adopt me. I don't know whether you read the story or not, but when she first saw the saddle in the round pen, she attacked the saddle. A Mustang mare, wild mare, ripping it to shreds. And I wanted out. I was over here, and I went around trying to get to the gate because I thought I was next on the menu. It was horrible what she was doing. When I got to 9 o'clock right over there, if 6 o'clock is the gate, 12 o'clock is here. When I got to 9 o'clock, she came running right at me. I'm right at the fence, and I went down in fetal position. And she stood over the top of me, and I could see her front feet right here in front of me, and her hind feet just behind my feet like this. And then I heard this. They had weaned a foal from her just 2 weeks before, and she was dripping milk on me and looking at that saddle out there. And she made another run at the saddle, and I tried for the gate again, but she wheeled around and came back to me again and stood over the top of me and dripped milk on my jeans. Tell me there isn't an understanding between horses and you. She probably felt like I was in need of defending against that horrible thing that looked like a damned wolf. That saddle, Western saddle. Think about that the next time you see somebody with a whip, trying to whip a horse by the legs to get it to go on a lorry or something. I watched a bunch of races, as I told you. Now they have a man in a suit and tie with a whip. Has to be a suit and tie on him, because he looks executive, so he has a chance to use a whip. So wrong. It is so wrong. Not just for the horses, but for everybody concerned, for the jockeys that ride them, for the owner, for the horse itself. I'm going on the signing stand now, but I love to come back to the UK. And I would love to come to different places in Scotland. And some people that try to help me with my tours and stuff say, you know, there's not enough in it. That people that, you know, it's kind of, you've been coming a long time and it's kind of dwindling down. I don't care where it's dwindling down to. Maybe it's dwindling down to the most important people ever. Thank you very much. Ameliorate his attitude. Where are you staying? What did you stop for? Huh? Why did you stop? Why did you stop there? Your hind feet don't work on that? Now see, right there, he would have you outside. He would have you outside. Yeah. Oh, aren't you something? Look at you. The great rearing horse. Let's bring him around a little bit, just so he has it to look at him.
There you go.
So that was about 40 seconds or so. Where are you going? Where are you going? It's not so bad, is it? Huh? Go ahead. Go on now. Now I want you to turn around and come back in. I want you to beat this phobia of yours. I want you to beat it. Yes, oh my goodness, my goodness.
There you go.
Okay, come on. You see, now he's learning. Oh yeah, that he's learning to do. That's your 8-foot line, training him to get his tail toward you and then just leave the county. Yeah. That's a good boy. It's better this way, isn't it? Huh? Better this way.
Doesn't want to leave.
He's going to try it again.
Oh, he's done that.
I
Oh,
got
well
it.
done.
I got it.
Once they get the line over their head, you're really in trouble.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Now I'd like him to just walk with me here and not pull me when I go up on the ramp. Yeah, I'd like it. That boy. You see, there's no reason for this bad loading, except that we are, as human beings, improperly equipped and not doing the right techniques. If we learn those techniques and we use the right equipment, it's so easy. Shall I leave him with you, Kelly?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now, because I want this to be as automatic for you as we can get it to be. So I'm going to leave him here with Kelly, and I'm going to go inside, way out here 25 or 30 feet from him, and then Kelly's just going to release him, and I want him to come and load himself. The great trainer can get the horse to want to do it. This time I'll ask Kelly to throw him a little kiss as he leaves, and we'll see if we can quicken him in this quest to go in the lorry with gentleness. Where's my owner? You want to load him?
Yes, please.
Once more, Kelly, and then we'll put her line on.
Okay. Oh, I can't stop.
Okay.
Okay.
So much fun when you get it right. I'll turn him. Let me. Did you see that? You know, you recognize that, don't you? Okay, just come here. Put your line on there. That's it. Now I just want you to walk up there looking straight forward, relaxing, breathing, and just walk into the back of the truck. Go ahead, walk on.